We are live and echoing.
Pin guide, not us.
I didn't pin us. Cool.
Ready?
Yep.
Sweet. Welcome to Jiu-Jitsu class again, guys. Today's going to be slightly different to our partner lessons. I've had some techniques that I've filmed before. We're going to pop them up on the screen and show you the sort of techniques that we're going to be practicing today, just because I am without a partner for today's session. But again, this is just because we're trying to keep the topic of the leg locks, and you sort of need a partner for us to be leg locking. So we're going to start off with a warm-up, get loosened up. We'll recap some of the drills we've done the last couple of weeks. So sort of like your single leg X drills and transition up the body and a couple of recaps. And then we'll get into some new techniques this week and entering into the leg lock. So hopefully connecting up your guard work with the leg locks itself. All right, guys, let's get warmed up. Let's begin. So starting with some star jumps when you're ready, guys. Let's get loosened up this Saturday morning. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 20. And squats. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Push-up position. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Line your backs, guys. Let's go for our cross jumps. So close the legs like in the close guard. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 20. Hands on the floor for our triangle chokes. Lift the hips up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Feet on the ground for our bridges. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And hip escapes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Finish off with our neck exercise, guys. Keep your head off the ground. Bring the chin towards your chest. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Keep the heads off the floor, looking left and right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Final exercise is the shoulders. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And tickle, stand up. Lovely. Now, considering we're on the topic of leg locks for the next few sessions, let's warm up these ankles to begin with, guys. So what we're going to do this time, instead of going straight into the weight onto your toes, we're just going to walk around the room, putting the weight into different parts of your foot. So if we start off, first of all, with the toes lifted, we're just going to walk onto your heels. Okay, so just a nice lap of your mat, walking onto your heels. Nice. Now we're going to walk on the inside of the feet. So turn your foot inwards. We're walking here. So we're lifting the inside of the feet, walking completely on the outside of your feet. And again, this is really, really good for making sure we got good balance on your sweeps. So if somebody tries to push me up, balance, balance, walking. Now onto the inside. So turn the feet in, knees are turned in like you need the toilet. Duck walking around the room. Fortunately, nobody can see us doing this in our living rooms, so we're all good. Nice. And then final one, guys, up onto the toes. So heels lifted off the floor, walking forwards. Should be strengthening up the ankle joint and the knee. Get good tight calves. We're going to be bending down into our low squat, keeping these heels lifted off the floor. Nice, good. And stand back up. Good. We're going to walk forwards and walk backwards and squat. Good. Back up, walk forwards, walk backwards, and squat. Nice. Done there, guys. So let's get started with our first sort of warm-up drill. And again, whenever I practice leg locks, I always tend to work through some leg entanglement drills before I get into my technique practice. So I want you guys to go over the grounded leg entanglements, so the single leg X, 50-0, the 50-50, and the saddle position. So just from having inside control from the sort of double guard pull. And then we're just going to keep going one for one. So run through the 4 leg entanglements and then switch and change over. And then we'll move into the same ones from standing as well, so we can get into some entries afterwards. Okay, guys, so let's get that started. We got the first couple of minutes going on drill number 1, and then we'll switch up to our standing drill when everyone's had a go. Also, guys, if you want to add in a bite in the heel and getting into your heel hook position, then add that in with each leg entanglement too. So think about bridging the hip, coming up onto the shoulder. Nice, Alex, good. Nice and hip-to-hip control from there, good. This is one, Alex, if you attack the secondary leg, this is one where I like to switch the steamer lock grip. Yeah, exactly. So usually for you to get that tight, Alex, what I'll do is, if you've got a foot lock grip, you've got it with your left hand, right? I go right hand grip on the inside of the knee, underneath. That's it. I pull the knee towards me. That exposes the heel. Now I bite with my left. Get a good grip, connect, and then exactly. Now you've got yourself a nice outside heel hook on the other side. And what that will actually do, Alex, is force Sarah to turn out, giving you the backside 50-50 on the leg that you want to finish. Exactly. See, Sarah, if you go towards your knee, like turning away, like you're trying to scurry out of the position, now we've got a nice backside 50-50 finish, which you're going to try and cover later on in today's class too. So that's a nice little option. Plus the calf crush, exactly, or matrix. The world is your oyster at that point. So keep repping those out, guys. Callum, Jamie, if you guys have any problems, feel free to let me know. Otherwise, we're looking like we're having a good time during the leg locks with our buddy. Try and stay nice and tight towards the hips, guys. You want to close the space between your hips and theirs. So we want to make sure we've got a good bend in your partner's knee. So in every position, think about how you can get it to be tighter. And at the same time, protect your legs. So Jamie, close your triangle over. You've got to protect your inside leg, exactly. You want to come up onto your shoulder there, Sarah. So get a good bend. That's it, nice. Hold Alex's calf with your left hand and pull it into your armpit, and then roll up onto the shoulder to get a good bite. Nice. But Sarah, the more you can bend Alex's leg before we try to get a bite, the better. So the closer your hips can be to his, the better it's going to be for you. Okay, so scoot in, nice. Now when you go belly down again, so take your left hand towards his heel, and then you can pull it into your lats. That's it, good. Then roll up onto the shoulder, and then we can get a good grip on the leg. Does that feel a little bit better? All right, finish the one that you're on, guys, and then we'll start working our leg entries from the standing position as well, okay? So, nice, Callum, good. Go all the way through to the saddle. Nice, lock up the double trouble. Good, split the leg. Nice, good. And then bite the heel on the second leg. Before you bite with your armpit, Callum, grab Jamie's low calf with your left hand, pull it up into the armpit, and then bite. Yeah, nice. So go back to the footlock grip again. Just repeat the position. So you had the footlock grip on the second leg. We've got double trouble. You bring it up onto your shoulder. Now, while you've got this, your right hand wants to be on his knee. That's it. Now, your left hand is going to shoot all the way through to the other leg. Pull that up, and now your right arm clamps. Lock, and then roll to your shoulder for you to finish. Yeah, nice. That's better. Good. Okay, finish up there, guys. Switch over, and then we're working our leg entries from the floor. So single leg X to X guard, shoot through the 50-0 on the second leg, and then back, resetting the drill. Nice. Add in some sort of sweeping motion as well now, Alex. So in each position, think about pushing Sarah backwards. If you have control over both legs, we're going to get a guaranteed sweep, so let go of the other leg. Nice, Callum. Good transitions. Now we're switching back to single leg X again. Yeah, nice. Keep the knees pinched. Good. Hips raised. Switch off to the second leg. Good X guard. Nice. Switch those legs over, Jamie. You want your left leg protected. That's it. Always cover your inside leg. That's the one that's vulnerable for Callum to sit back and heel hook you. All right. If you want to drop back into 50-0, guys, we're just going to go into recapping our drill from last week. So last week's lesson, we were looking at the relationship between the outside heel hook from the 50-0 and using that to transition to inside heel hook positions like the saddle as well. Okay. So we're going to go from your 50-0 position. We split the legs, mount the person, so sit on the belly, and then switch off again to the saddle, just like Alex has demonstrated over here. So if you guys switch into the gallery view, Alex, if you drop back into 50-0. So this is typically, so he's got his outside heel hook set up. When Sarah's clamping, putting weight on top or hand fighting, and Alex can't get to a good position, he splits his legs and transitions his weights to sit on the stomach, and then sits on the floor besides the partner to get back into the saddle. And now we've fluidly moved from outside heel hooks to inside heel hooks. Okay, so let's get this transition going, and then we're getting into the new stuff. Callum and Jamie, did you guys practice this last week?
I think at the end of last Saturday we did.
Yeah, but we weren't here for the Sunday session.
Gotcha, no worries. Make sure that knee's turning out there, Sarah. The more you can flip your hips to center with Alex, the better your leg entanglement's going to be. If your knee is going through his legs, then he can come up on top to sort of pressure a little bit. So instead of looking down towards his feet, I want to look up towards his head. Good. Now scoot your hips out towards the other side. That's it. Good. Nice. Yeah, exactly. Perfect. Now you've got that right shin blocking his hip. Nice. Try to hold with your whole arm there, Jamie. So reach your arm all the way through. That's it. That's it. Good. Lock that in. Now you can sit down on the floor next to him. Now you can go straight to your heel hook finish. If you pull his toes into your armpit, Jamie, you can go straight to your heel hook and drop, lie down on your back and bridge up, you see? You can go to your shoulder or to your left shoulder. It depends. It also depends on Callum's reaction. So ideally, you would go towards your right shoulder so we can get the bridging mechanics working with it. But see, focus on your left knee here, Jamie. See how it's pointing down towards the floor? You want your knee to be blocking Callum from putting weight on top of you. So turn your knee towards his hip. Yeah, that's better. You see, Callum, if you try to come on top now, see, now that shin blocks his hip. If your knee turns through, you see, what was happening was your knee was going across towards the radiator. Now, Callum, come on top. You see, you end up losing the advantage that you have with the person being on bottom. So you've really got to work on flaring your left knee to control his hip. Okay, turn that, guys. Now, we're about to experiment a little bit with some screen sharing. So bear with me if there are any issues. I was going to start off, first of all, showing you a quick video of how this looks in competition, because a lot of the stuff that we've been going over the last few weeks are a lot of basic things that are included very nicely in this video I'm about to show you, which is essentially just a highlight. So let's get into... Oh no, this is the wrong one. Don't want this screen. Can you guys see this? It's the most feared leg locker.
Yeah, we can see.
Ah, perfect. Okay, so this is Eddie Cummings, one of the original sort of Danaher death squad guys. Has a brilliant outside heel hook. It hits a lot of his stuff from like 50-0, or the names are slightly different in sort of the Danaher death squad terminology because it's took from the Japanese names. So Ashi Garami is single leg X. Outside Ashi is 50-0. So they're basically the same thing. Okay, so we're going to look at how he gets to the entries, and then this will show you when you're in sort of a real life situation, how important it has to have your feet on the inside. So immediately he's playing his butterfly guard and getting to single leg X. And even within the scrambles, he's looking at pummeling his feet towards the inside. So in this situation, he's got a De La Riva hook that is now pummeled straight into single leg X. And now he's locked into the hip. You see, now it's just in a standard single leg X, knee clamping onto the heel. You see, and then he's up onto the shoulder, bridging to just for a normal outside heel hook finish that we've been practicing the last couple of weeks. See, what they're explaining is that the guy has to free his knee line in order to escape. That's why it's so important that he clamps down with his knee and heel. And then notice that he's already got a bite on that while he's on the shoulder, and then he's ready to get the finish. There. And then all it is at that point is the bridge in towards the knee line while the extension's happening. But obviously what we're looking at this week is starting to enter looking at getting the feet towards the inside first. So it's just that leg pummel. Once you've got the inside control, then that's a basic entry to single leg X that we've been covering. So this is your outside Ashi, which is the 50-0, which is the position we were just looking at transitioning from. A little bit more powerful than the normal single leg X, because now you have a little bit more control over the hip line. It's a little bit harder for the person to spin free. And then again, this is coming back to once you are in single leg X, then we can transition fairly easily to 50-0 by just passing the legs towards the outside. So this is all on the same side leg. The drill that we practiced went from single leg X on the one side to X guard, and then 50-0 on the far leg. This is just taking your bottom leg out and shooting it across. So then you've got your 50-0 on the same leg. And then again, this is a really easy position to off balance to bring the opponent's hips to the floor, but you can also get a good grip on it to go straight for the finish. You see? So a lot of the time at the highest level, you're going to have to put the hips on the ground for you to get to finishing your partner. But on occasion, you can do it while they're on top of you and still get the same finish. This is the little, where you're vulnerable in these positions, is people coming around towards your back or leg dragging. So you've got to make sure you stay nice and tight. And this is the case where you would start splitting the legs and trying to transition back to the saddle, the drill that we just did. But turns out if you're, this is no longer helpful. So let's get into the drills for today. So the first thing we're looking at is shin to shin, okay? So we're just going to go from shin to shin, entering into the single leg X from an open guard situation. We're just looking at a standing opponent, okay? So the entry to there. Nice and simple, okay? So we're starting off in your butterfly guard, okay?
It's still showing the previous screen. It hasn't switched to the, if you're showing anything.
Oh, my bad. Let me... Can you see that now? There we go. Okay, so the entry itself is from shin to shin, shooting through to the single leg X. So starting off in the butterfly guard, the first thing we need to do is close distance. And again, from the last video we just watched, we understand the importance of having inside control. So if you notice, the first thing I'm looking at doing is hooking with my left foot. So get the initial control with the left hook. Then we close the distance, and I'm locking this in. Now, it's very, very important to have this super tight, pulling back towards the chest. We don't want any space at the armpit for my partner to underhook here, because they'll go straight into a knee slice. I have the safety blanket, which is my shin to shin here, which stops the person from driving straight away. And then what we're going to do is transition the weight towards this foot, so I can now enter into single leg X. So we're blocking, my right hand is blocking this knee over here, and I'm pushing the weight into his standing leg, you see? So now I can start to flare this leg outwards for me to enter in. Straight into single leg X. So close the distance, wrap up nice and tight, block that second leg, roll towards the shoulder, exposing the heel, bringing it outwards away from the body, and then we're just bringing the knees up straight into our single leg X. Practice it a few different times in our classes. One thing that is super important, though, is to make sure that we have this hand control, blocking this leg, just because if we don't have this here, my partner can drive straight in towards the mount position and try to put weight forward. So we've really got to work on transitioning his weight into his standing leg, so then we can start to attack this one over here to enter into our single leg X. Okay, guys? So again, the drill is going to be starting off in a seated position from here, okay? So close the distance, make a good hook, come into a good shin to shin, and then use that to transition into your single leg X. All right, guys? Start off with that nice and simple, then we'll get into our sweeps and off balances and finishes from the floor. That's the right, other way, Callum. That's it. Yeah, that's right. Nice. If you want to start hitting your off balances there, Alex, as well, and going into your finishes once we get to the floor, then you can. If you want to go Eddie Cummings style, go straight 50-0 from the single leg X as well. We've got some options. Nice, Callum, good. Nice there, good. Block the second leg. Really push into Alex's right leg. So use your left hand to really stretch. That's it. Then roll towards that leg. So fall to your left shoulder. Nice. Now it's just a matter of extending your legs forward. So only thing we're missing there, Sarah, everything was good. All the movement was perfect. We just got to stay attached to that leg. So when you turn towards this side, keep this attached. Flare the leg outwards. And then all you're doing is essentially just pulling Alex's legs either side of your body, and then you'll bring your knees up later. That's why, again, it's important to have that hand blocking, because you are vulnerable for a short second. Nice. A little bit tighter there, Callum, with your footlock arm. So stay super, super attached to the leg, and make a little bit more flare of his knee. Okay, so you push your toes out to the side. Yes. Close the distance, Sarah. So scoot your hips in. That's it. Good. Now fall towards the left shoulder. Nice. Stretch through. Good. Now bring your knees in. So left knee to your left hand. Good. Nice. And then when you get there, you want to close the distance with your armpit towards Alex's leg. So pull yourself to his leg and push him away. You see? So if you're right now, you're grabbing around on your right side, you want to push him all the way towards your left. Good. Jamie, let's work on hooking the other leg. So put your right foot on the other leg and push it across. Yeah, rather than both hooks on the same leg. It's just harder for the person to re-pummel his leg back inside. Yeah, that's right. You can play with both hooks on the same leg. When it comes to attacking leg locks like this, it's easier for the person to pummel their leg back inside to counter leg lock. So I tend to keep my foot on the other side. Putting the foot on the same side, so both feet on the same leg, is really good for sweeping because you have more control over that primary leg. But you've got to weigh up the trade of sweeping the person and them attacking your legs, or you having a little bit more safety when you're going for the legs. Okay, time guys, let's bring it back in real quick. So all we're going to do now, we're going to stick with the same entry, but we're just going to add in some off balances. So bringing the partner's hips to the floor. So a lot of times when we're attacking any of your heel hooks, you're going to be more successful once the hips have landed onto the ground. Okay, so we've got to make sure that we have some good sweeping mechanics too. Again, we've covered this a lot in class beforehand. So it's just a simple off balance. Dropping the hips to the ground, then we're in position. Once we're there, then I can start going belly down straight away from the single leg X, or I can choose to transition my feet to the 50-0 and then work into my heel hooks from there as well. One that is a little bit higher percentage that I tend to use is this reach and grip, okay? So instead of me sweeping with my left arm as a footlock grip, my far arm is going to reach towards his ankle, and then I bridge. And what this does is it straightens your partner's leg, so it's very hard for them to prevent the sweep. And then you're simply just bridging so the leg comes off the ground. So if we look at that again, and then once I'm there, I'm transitioning across the body where you can leg drag, or we can move into different leg entanglements again. So that could take us straight into the saddle position from there. Okay, so going back to this mechanic. Back. Okay. So when we're hitting the sweep, we're reaching across to there, I'm bridging, and if you notice, my partner's leg has come off the floor. You see? The first sweep is reliant on opening the knee like this to force the sweep. The second sweep is lifting the leg completely off the ground like this. So then it's much more difficult for you to maintain your balance. With the first sweep, where you're just twisting your knees, it can be defended by just backstepping with the second leg. Okay? With this one, even if you backstep, you're pretty much going to fall. And then this gives us the nice option of once we do fall, we bring this across our body. So this is the same mechanic that we looked at, transition from 50-0 to the 50-50. We just lie back and pass it across the body. Once it's behind my armpit, now I have the choice of to come up on top, to go straight into passing, because now I'm already on the outside of my partner's legs, or to sit back so I can go into leg entanglements. If you remember from previous Zoom classes, we also worked on our 50-50 footlock. And this is a very, very good way of getting straight into that submission and going straight for the footlock from there too. Okay, guys? So play around with your options now. So the same entry, we're going to go with the single leg X entry again. So from shin to shin. Now start working into your sweeps. And then once you get there, play around with your finishes. Whether or not you want to come up into leg drags and use it to pass the guard, or whether or not you want to attack the 50-50 footlock or the heel hook from inside of the saddle. Okay, guys? Let's wrap it out. Nice, there you go. When you're passing there, Callum, you want to walk towards the hips. So don't be in too much of a rush to get to side control. Continue walking towards the sofa until your right knee pins Jamie's left knee. So when you finish that sweep, you've come up and his leg's over the top of your knee, right? So get into that position. There. Now your right knee is going to drop down over the thigh. Yeah. Lift to the left leg. Wide out by the radiator. Good. And now close the distance with your chest. So right elbow will block his knee. Left arm makes an underhook. Yeah. Good. Right elbow makes an underhook. Put your head up. Yeah. So both ones going to double underhooks. Good. Nice. Now walk around towards the side control. Exactly. If we try to go straight to side control, then the person can just open the knee and start hip escaping towards the side. You see? So essentially, what the person has on bottom is this position here. When you push across, you're opening the hip and coming around this angle here. If it's just neutral and you try to come around, then I can turn and hip escape. You see? So by forcing my hips all the way towards this side, it's too much for me to then try to turn to get back to guard because you've already closed the distance at that point. So that's why the leg drag is such a good guard pass. You see, any guard pass that forces the hips away from you is a good guard pass because now you're forcing the person to turn to turtle, which again gives you to start attacking the back and things, than them initially facing you. That's why I prefer it over sort of Toriandos and knee slices, although I do really love knee slices. But I, a lot of time, will try to use the knee slice to get back to the leg drag because that's a powerful guard pass. Nice, Jamie. Good. Good. Straight into the leg entanglement. Get that left leg inside the legs. Good. Good. Scoot those hips in again, Sarah. Yeah, nice. Now you're set. Nice. Good job. Okay, time, guys. So I'm trying to be conscious of time, so we're going to move through a little bit quicker because the last two leg entanglements are a little bit more advanced. So they're going to need a little bit more time for us to get through. The first one is from the X guard, but it's going to be the opposite way around when I'm playing X guard. Okay, so this is what it looks like. Again, this is one of the most famous leg entanglements and one of the most effective that you see a lot of people using in high-level competition. This is how Gordon Ryan enters a lot of times, and also how sort of Craig Jones gets to good positions, and also Eddie Cummings that we looked at earlier. So how do we do that? The first thing that we need to look at is making sure that I put my partner's weight into his hands. So that's why at the beginning, when we start here, we're putting his hands towards the floor straight away. And I keep this elbow grip, you see? I have a force from my right hand pushing in this direction, blocking that tricep. So I'm putting his weight into his hands, making his legs light. The next thing we're doing is passing that X-guard hook in the wrong way around. See? So I'm trying to get control over this knee to elevate this off the floor to force a nice backstep. Which in the case of sparring, a lot of times when people want to pass your guard, they are going to backstep from the X guard anyway. So, and some people won't recognize that your hooks are the wrong way, and they will backstep cleanly into your leg entanglement. That is a very, very sweet situation if somebody does that for you. But otherwise, we're going to have to elevate the hips forward. So then we lift up. Now from here, you can extend the leg through, and the leg will naturally drop into position. Or if you see what I'm doing here is I just get a hold of his leg, pull it towards me, and then lock into position. Now, depending on what you want to do with the leg entanglement will depend on where my feet go. So I've not locked up a triangle. You see, I've got my foot here, and then this foot is hooked underneath the hip. And this is so I can come straight up to passing the half guard if I want to. So it gives me a little bit more freedom than just being reliant on using it as a leg entry. This can also be used very effectively as a sweep. See, at any point, now I can attack my straight foot lock. You see, I can attack the calf crush if I underhook the second leg. I can split the feet and go to my heel hook or knee bar. Or because this foot is now free, I can drive my weight in this direction in order to knee slice. The only thing I need to complete the pass is this underhook over here. Force your partner to post the hands, elevate, pull the leg towards you, close up the triangle. One very important thing with this, guys, is making sure that your knee doesn't go too far through. So my right leg will constantly be shallow. See, I spoke to a few of you as we were practicing earlier, and making sure that that shin is a barrier to stop the person from closing distance towards you. You see? So when I'm sweeping here and you pull the person in, notice that my foot is the only thing that is past the inside of my partner's legs, and my knee is still on the outside. If your knee goes inside of the legs, then my partner can force his knee to the ground in order to try to smash through my guard, okay? So this shin is the main thing here, that is blocking him from putting weight on top of me, and is what is making the sweep so successful. Again, once you've got the hips on the ground, now you're able to work into all of our series of attacks from before. All right, guys? Let's give that a try. So we're starting off with this with the knee on the floor just to make it a little bit easier. It can be hit from a standing position, but we have to do an initial off balance first. So start off with one knee up, one knee down. Right hand goes to the tricep there, Callum. Grab his arm, push him across. You can just go towards his armpit, you see, rather than going to the wrist. Just literally put your hand like this, underneath, and push. That's it, nice. Now keep that tricep grip, so squeeze his arm. That's it, good. Now switch into your X guard. Other way around. You got to do it wrong. So left leg goes under. Nice. That's it, yeah. Hook Jamie's leg and lift it. Nice. Now straighten out your left leg. Keep your right leg where it is. Good. And now if the leg's not coming towards you, use your left hand to grab his knee. Pull it down. Nice. Now you can push forward for your sweep. Good. We're straight into double trouble. We have the control we wanted. Now you can go foot lock, calf crush, knee bar, or split the legs. Nice. If you're going for your foot lock, bend your heels back towards your butt. So grab his foot. Good. Grab it tight. Elbow deep. I want this elbow to make a V shape. So bring your elbow on the inside of your stomach. Yeah, good. Bend your feet back so your knees point up towards the ceiling. Now fall on the same line as Jamie's leg. So the straight line. Oi, that's looking good. And then you can bridge. Nice. So if you need any added pressure from there, then you'll bridge. A lot of times I go to like a guillotine grip. So you grip above the wrist, and then you're pulling that at the same time as bridging the hips up. If you need to make it even tighter, you can experiment playing with a rear naked choke grip as well. It all depends on what you find more comfortable to pull. But nice work. That's a good first attempt. If this happens, Alex, that's where you got to switch to the back control. So if the person backsteps a little bit too hard, then you push your shin the other side. So see Sarah's shin? Yeah. Exactly. So this is almost like a berimbolo sort of position. Pull his leg, straighten out your left leg there, Jamie. Good. Make sure his knee's inside. So rather than grabbing his foot, grab his knee with your left hand. Good. Pull that in. Nice. Now close your triangle. Good. And then push your feet to the floor. Yeah, nice. Now we've got the mermaid set up, double trouble applied, ready to start attacking the finishers. Good. Try not to shoot your left leg through there, Alex, because we're letting that knee come through. So grab it with your hand and pull the knee in. You want that retraction of your bottom knee. This one is unfortunately quite uncomfortable for the men in the room. So do be careful when you're training with your partners. Don't squeeze too hard. Good. Grab with the left hand there, Callum. You want your right arm still blocking his tricep because you don't want him to put his weight back towards his feet. So now reach up, pull the knee in. Good. Now use your knee to lock it in. So straighten out your leg again. When you pull, Callum, I want you to do this with your knee. So straighten out, grab his knee, pull it in, and bend. Good. That's supporting that pull and making sure you're getting a strong bend in Jamie's leg. Now you can go feet to the floor, put his hips on the mat. Then we're in that position. Nice. Much better, Alex. Looking good. Switch into the calf crush on the next one, Callum.
Can you show us the calf crush? I don't think I've seen that.
Yeah, so the calf crush is when you've got the legs like this. So go to your foot lock grip. Get back into the saddle. So hook the other leg, push it over. Good. Now foot lock the other leg.
This one.
Yeah. Now what you're going to do is instead of foot locking it, keep the position and underhook the other leg. With your right arm. Same arm. It's going to underhook his second leg. Nice. Now, connect your hands together. First thing I like to do is grab his toes and pull his toes so they're in line with his, pull them the other way. That's it. Nice. Pull that in. Grip it tight. Good. Now go back palm to palm. Good. And now pull the shin towards you.
Oh.
Good, but see how you've got to turn his toes in so that his shin is going up against his calf. The finish of the calf crush is the shin driving into the calf. So you've got to make sure his toes point towards you, so then his shin is pushing against his own calf. Lie down, good. Keep your knees bent up towards you, and then pull.
Oh. That was ankle lock. Yeah. Go from saddle. There. Put that leg over. No. I need to try. From here. Grab that one.
Good. Then underhook the other one.
Same one, yeah.
Yeah. Nice. Now connect your hands together. Give it a pull.
Ooh.
You can lie down on your shoulder. That's it. Really pull it.
Yeah.
Sometimes what you'll do is when you pull like this, you'll switch into a rear naked choke, and then the rear naked choke arm will grab the heel. So then you can add some extra pressure to keep the heel going in towards the calf. So all you're trying to do is find the nice sharp part of the shin, and then you put it under the other leg. So then you're pulling that bottom leg to go and put pressure underneath the calf. Now, you will catch a few people with this. It's not high percentage, but it's a nice one to add in if you struggle to split the legs. Just because this will force the person to open their legs up because they get a little bit of pain into their calf.
Nice.
And I have actually taught somebody his calf before. Not using this. I did it during a straight foot lock, but it is possible. We'll finish up our last rep now, guys. So one more, and then we'll end our session there. Nice, Jamie, good. Stretch through, bend the knee. Good. Yeah, nice. Put his hips on the floor. Good. You can go straight to underhooking his second leg for that calf crush. That's it, yeah. Underhook the other one. Good. Grab it, pull it. Good. Grab his heel with your. That's it. Grab his heel with your right hand. Good. Left hand on the bicep. Good. Now lie down and pull. Nice. All right. Good training there, guys. Nice work. So we introduced some different sweeping mechanics now. We've got our shin to shin entry. The only thing we need to do with our shin to shin is just be a little bit tighter, so keep that knee glued towards our chest. as we roll underneath the person. And then we have a nice entry from sort of the reverse X guard that is super, super famous. But this is the same mechanic. We went over a back step entry to the saddle a while ago. It's the same mechanic. So if I'm going step, step, sitting into position to go into the leg lock, it's the same thing as being in position from here, hooking, hooking, and shooting through. Same movement. Okay. Now, we didn't have time, but the other entry I wanted to look at, if I show you real quick, just so you get a taste of tomorrow's class, is from here. The backside 50-50, which is a super tight finish. Very, very difficult for your partner to escape. They typically begin to backstep, and then we switch across into the 80-20 for us to finish from there. So you underhook the knee, we pull it towards us. We have won the knee line, so we've got our knee on the inside of our partners. We step over at the back, which is essentially sort of like a calf crush position, and then we use that calf crush to peel into our heel hook. See, so I'm bringing the heel outwards away from the butt. Now I lock the heel in place with my free hand, bite, lock into position, and then it's bridge. See, my hips, shoulders will turn, my hips bridge in, the knee is glued in position, so it's very, very difficult for your partner to escape this situation. If he backsteps, then you shoot the leg across the hip, you see. So now we have the two added benefits of the 50-50 and the saddle position. So I can get onto my shoulder very, very easily to go for the bridging mechanic, but it also stops my partner from being able to roll because my leg is over the top of the hip. And then we're into position, bridge, and we're into a tight finish. So we didn't get to look at that today, but there's a little prelude to tomorrow's lesson. So we're going to work on entering to that position from there. And this goes down sort of a different methodology of entering into the legs. What we've looked at so far is, and we've stressed the importance of inside control. You see, you must have your legs on the inside of your partners. Tomorrow, we're going to tell you why you don't always need to put your legs on the inside. So if you do play outside hooks like De La Riva, reverse De La Riva, you can still use those positions to enter into the leg locks. And it turns out that single leg X and butterfly is not king when coming to enter into the leg locks.
A few things to announce from me. Obviously, we've got now on our YouTube channel, we've got the full gi series out. So check that out, the gi on lock series. Lots of good techniques in there from Brad. Edited very nicely as well, I might add. Team UCL Challenge, we won our first week with flying colours. We won it so much, in fact, that our opponents got 0 points, which is pretty big difference. That's a 50-point difference required for that.
Whitewash. We
need the same this week, and then we pretty much won our league. If we win our league, we get £125 of grant funding for coaching. So help us win, help Brad make some money. Get out there, get walking. It's the weekend, so go walk some hills. That's how we get points on the weekend. We're already doing great this week. We've got 122 points, when last week we only got 108 over the entire week. So let's make this weekend active. Let's ensure our victory. And that's it. Thank you very much for coming to class. Have a good week and see you tomorrow.